So the focus today is going to be solving quadratic equations, but when we do that, we might see complex solutions arise, as in when you plug it into maybe the quadratic formula, we have negative square roots that we have to deal with, which involves the imaginary number. But we still call this their solutions here. It's just not real solutions. We'd have a couple imaginary solutions here. If you were asked to solve this, so far we have three techniques, right? We know how to solve by factoring, and so we could check to see if this is factorable. And to do that, we would look at the last term here, positive 12, 1 and negative 12. We list all the factors of positive 12, both the negatives also, so 2 and 6, negative 2 and negative 6, also 3 and 4, negative 3 and negative 4. And then you look at the pairs and see which ones add up to the middle term here of negative 6. And if you look at all your pairs, they don't end up being pairs that add up to negative 6. So we can't do this by factoring. In fact, that polynomial originally is not factorable. And so then you look at possibly another technique, maybe by graphing. Solve by graphing these. And remember, when you're solving by graphing, you're checking to see if when you graph that parabola, no matter how it looks, that where it hits the x-axis here is when where our solutions lie. And so we do our second trace feature on our calculator to do the 0 option. So it would be left-bound, right-bound stuff. We click on that point, we get our answer, we write nearest 1 or 2 decimal places, right? But the problem with this is if you actually go on your calculator and graph this, in fact, you can try graphing this yourself, but if you do graph this, what you're going to see is a parabola that has a y-intercept of positive 12 that just kind of floats in that first quadrant area. And so notice it doesn't touch the x-axis at all. Therefore, we say there's no real solutions here, but there are two solutions, and they're called complex solutions here. You're going to come up with a complex answer involving I eventually. So if we can't solve by factoring, we can't solve this by graphing, then I guess the logical step would be solving this by the quadratic formula. And so let's look at how to solve this particular equation using the quadratic formula now. So now that we know we're using the quadratic formula, the first step is, remember, identifying your a, b, and c. And so a is in front of x squared, which in this case is going to be 1. B is in front of x, that's negative 6, and c is the coefficient without the variable, that's 12. And so now that I have my a, b, and c, we plug it into our formula, negative b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4 times ac, all over 2 times a. And if I plug in what I know, opposite of negative 6 is going to be positive 6 plus or minus the square root. We have to put b squared in there, which is negative 6 in parentheses squared, minus 4 times my a times my c, which a and c end up being 1 and 12 here, and 2a on the bottom would be 2 times 1. So if I simplify this, I get x equals 6 plus or minus the square root. And now focusing on the inside part here, the radicand part, if you square that negative 6, it becomes positive 36, but then it's minus 4 times 12, which is minus 48. And so underneath there, we actually get negative 12 underneath, all over 2 times 1, which is 2. And so once we get to this stage, your real focus is just simplifying that radical symbol involving a negative number, which means we're going to involve I here. So the first step is we can split that square root of negative 12 as the square root of 12 times the square root of negative 1. We know the square root of negative 1 is I, but now it's really about simplifying the square root of 12 down, breaking that down to its most simplified form. And if you make a factor tree of 12, that's 2 and 6, that's 2 and 3. Here's the prime numbers. So the square root of 12 can be written as 2 times 2 times 3, and since it's a square root, every pair, we can pull out 1. And so it'd be 2 square roots of 3i, or better yet, we write 2i square root 3 in the mix there. So coming back into the original problem here, we would get x equals 6 plus or minus 2i square root 3 all over 2. And again, that's acceptable as an answer, but notice that the coefficients here, 6, 2, and 2, they're all even numbers. Remember, the radicand part doesn't matter when we're simplifying this expression, but the numbers in front do. And so since they're all divisible by 2, I can divide each number by 2. And so 6 divided by 2 is 3. We still have the plus or minus. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So it just left with I squared 3 there. And I guess divided by 2 on the bottom would just be over 1. And so this would be the most simplified form as my answer. But that's what our solutions look like today, something involving I, and we're dealing with solving quadratic equations still. So let's take a look at a couple more before I have you guys try one on your own. So first step is really, remember, set it equal to 0 first, so I'd have to subtract the 2x and I'd have to add the 3 to the left side to make it equal 0. Second step is we're identifying our a, b, and c, so a is 6, b is -2, c is 3. We're using the quadratic formula now. And so if I plug in my known values, opposite of b is going to be +2 plus or minus the square root, -2 squared minus 4 times my a times my c, all over 2 times my a. If I simplify, I get 2 plus or minus the square root. And if I break down that inside part, just doing that part on my calculator, it looks like I get 4 minus 72, which I believe is -68 there. And 2 times 6 on the bottom is 12. And so really now it's focusing on simplifying that square root of -68 there, which is the same as 68 times square root of -1. And so if I break down that 68, making a factor tree, it's 2 and 34, it's 2 and 17. And so right away, it looks like that becomes 2 square roots of 17, and remember we have the I there that's involved. So now that I know what square root of 68 is, I can write that as x equals 2 plus or minus 2I square root 17 all over 12. And notice all these numbers are divisible by 2. And so if I break that down and divide each of those by 2, I get x equals, well, 2 divided by 2 is 1. The 2 in the front, there becomes 1I square root 17, and then dividing 2 on the bottom gives me over 6. And then this would be my final answer. So if I try that next one down below, subtracting 5x and putting it in the middle in standard form, starts off like this, where my a would be 3, my b would be -5, and my c would be 1. And so here's my quadratic formula I'm going to write down. If I plug in what I know, opposite of b is going to be 5 plus or minus the square root, -5 squared minus 4 times my a times my c, all over 2 times my a. And so for this one, I get 5 plus or minus the square root of, it looks like we get 25 minus 12 there, which is 13 all over 6. And what's nice about this one is, notice for this one, we don't have any imaginary numbers. In fact, square root of 13 is already broken down as farthest as it can. And so it looks like this is my final answer there. So here's a chance to try one on your own. In fact, I want you to pick one of these, not both, but try one of these two. And you can pause the video and work them out, and we'll go over these here in a few seconds. Good luck. So let's take a look at A. First step would be subtracting that 3x there. So it'd be 4x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So my A value is 4, my B is -3 there, and my C is going to be 2. And so if I plug it in, opposite of B is going to be 3 plus or minus the square root. My B squared minus 4 times A times C, and all over 2 times my A. So if I simplify this, you should have got 3 plus or minus the square root of, looks like 9 minus 32, which would be -23, I believe, all over 2 times 4, which is 8. And so if I break down that square root of negative 23, negative 23 is the same as square root of 23 times the square root of negative 1, and the square root of 23 cannot be broken down. And so the final answer here would be x equals 3 plus or minus I square root of 23 all over 8. And there is no coefficients I can break down, so that ends up being my final answer here. So if you tried B, that one's already set up for you, where your A is 2, your B is negative 2, and your C is 5. And so if I plug that in, opposite of B would be positive 2. B squared minus 4 times my A times my C, all over 2 times my A. And if I simplify this, you should have got, let's see, it looks like 2 squared, or 2, that'd be 4, looks like 4 minus 40. So I get negative 36 there, I believe, all over 4. And the square root of negative 36 can be written as the square root of 36 times the square root of negative 1, or 6i, right? Because the square root of 36 is nice. And so that becomes 2 plus or minus 6i all over 4. And notice these are all divisible by 2. And so if I divide each 2 out of each, my final answer would be 1 plus or minus 3i all over 2. And that would be my final answer here. So now it's your turn to practice with the homework problems. There's not too many to practice here today because they do require a lot of work. We're using the quadratic formula, but you're also breaking down what your that imaginary part would look like with that square root. So try your best on the practice. Don't forget to check the key out there, and don't forget to submit that homework quiz before midnight. Have a great rest of your day, guys.